Food itself is very interesting, but have you ever thought about food in the Middle Ages? No, you haven't. No one has. That's why I'm here today to tell you about it. There wasn't that much food for anyone, except royals, rich people. The divide between the rich and the peasants and the quality and the amount of food was very vast. Delicacies like spices and sauces were exotic and could only be imported by the rich for the rich to use. Peasants usually ate what was right next to them, whether it's fruits, vegetables, fish if they had a river, eggs and poultry if they had chickens, and everyone had bread and beans. It was very common. Peasants only ate breakfast and supper, 2 meals, which consisted of most of those foods in pretty small quantities, while the rich had 6-course meals 3 times a day. That's a lot of food, and that's why they all got big and fat. They ate so much because it was a sign of their wealth, and they always wanted to just show everyone how cool and rich they were. They had these big banquets full of meat, bread, cheese, fish, fruits, vegetables, and lots of jams dyed different colors, just kind of look nice. All that 3 times a day. They didn't even get it themselves. They had servants to go get them and cooks to cook them, and they had different rooms like a bottery and a buttery, just centered around food. Well, the peasants just had to make do with a pretty small amount of food every day. A lot of this food would go bad, but they still ate it because they had to. Can't waste food. But enough about that. Now it's time to get serious. I have constructed the average peasant meal, and I'm going to eat and review it being the highly coveted food critic I am. This meal contains some milk, a little bit of chicken, some cod, cheese, bread, and a fruit. One dish that was pretty popular that I will not be eating is oatmeal. Grain like wheat and barley were very easy to grow back then, but I don't like oatmeal, so I'm not gonna eat oatmeal. Alright, let's get into it. First off is chicken, and the chicken tasted like unseasoned chicken. You know what chicken tastes like? I know what chicken tastes like. It's pretty good. 10 out of 10. Next up's the milk, and milk is pretty good, but I'm assuming that back then they kind of drank it warm, and that's yucky. 6 out of 10. Next up is the bread. The bread is pretty good. I liked it a lot. 10 out of 10. The cheese. I don't like cheese. I just really don't like cheese. It tasted bad. 2 out of 10. And the last up is the fish. The fish was bland and very oily because I cooked it bad. The fish is probably a 5 out of 10. And the last is the fruit, which is an earth-shattering red apple.
Wowie kazowie, an apple.
Yes, a red apple, but with a twist. See, the people in the Middle Ages were kind of stupid and thought that fruit and vegetables would give you disease if they were raw and not cooked. So they cooked them. So I cooked the apple. And it's really not that bad. It's just a little warm and a little worse. 5 out of 10. Overall, the meal was just kind of okay. I'd give it a 6 out of 10, and I hope you learned something today. Like that you should never cook your apples. Goodbye.